Welcome, everybody, to the Salty Nerd Gaming channel. We're here to talk about Secret Level, the first 4 episodes. 8 episodes have dropped so far, but we wanted to do a little bit more justice than covering 3 minutes each. So we're just going to do the first 4. We'll cover the next 4 at a later date. I'm followed, as always, by Dutch Butters.
Hi.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm here.
General impressions. How'd you feel about this? Because have you watched the Love, Death, and Robots TV show?
About 2/3 of them.
Okay.
I haven't made it through all of them yet.
So you can see the similarities. These the people who produced.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Love, Death, and Robots.
Mhm.
I love all those little anthology films. They're all good in a different way. Some of them are freaking action-packed, nonstop, 15 minutes of just pure chaos.
Mhm.
Some of them are a little bit more thought-provoking. There's like some mystery ones out there.
Some of them are goofy as hell.
Some of them are super goofy. There was a naked floating man at some point in a fish tank, and I was like, what's going on? But what they do, for those of you who might not be familiar, is the Love, Death, and Robots people kind of produce the anthology series, but each one is created and done by a different production studio. So each short film, basically, is what I'm going to call them, is done by a different person, or a different crew, and they're all very unique, and they're all very, as far as I can tell, it's really hands off as far as your creative like control. Like each studio does a very different style. They have whatever stories they want to tell, and they're all really cool and interesting. And that's ported over now to a genre that I feel like has been done dirty forever. Like since the beginning of video game movies, they've been notoriously trash.
Right.
A lot of video game people are very frustrated with that. I mean, there's a couple of hokey ones that like people love, but they're not good. Like Street Fighter is like, yeah, it's fun, but it's stupid.
There's one thing,
Mortal Kombat, fun, but stupid.
We're both longtime gamers.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things we've always wanted to see is we've always liked the cinematic intros and stuff and cutscenes that they put in these games these days.
Yeah.
Ever since the vanilla World of Warcraft came out and they had that awesome intro scene, with the music and the dwarf and the elf running through the forest. Ever since then, I'm like, I want this.
Yeah.
This is the animation I want to see.
Give me an hour and a half of that.
Give me a movie. Give me a show. Give me a and now finally 25 years later, since then, we're finally getting some really cool stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Whether it's stuff like something like Arcane on Netflix.
Oh, dude, Arcane's so good.
I'm almost done with it. It's pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And even if the story isn't that great, it's entertaining my brain.
Eye candy's off the hook.
The eye candy is crazy. and I'm an eye candy guy. We've been reviewing movies for years, and I love movies that take my eyeballs and ears for a ride, like Dune or something like that. And you guys are all like, a lot of you just piss on the stuff that I love, and vice versa, but these things are just like right in my wheelhouse because these are the kind of things that I've been wanting and looking for and waiting for years. Give me some stories in these video game universes that we all love and have played in and spent hours and hours of our lives in.
Here we are.
So,
like I'm always taken back to the Night of the Old Republic cinematics, and I'm like,
awesome.
Some of those little 5-10 minute freaking shorts are better than any Star Wars movie that's come out.
Anything Star Wars has come out
in the past 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like probably since the prequels.
Yep. They're better than the prequels.
They might.
They're better.
They're better than prequels. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, definitely for sure. For sure. I go back. Sometimes I'll revisit it. That one where the mother goes and hunts and finds her daughter who's been taken by the Sith Lord and turned into like some evil psychopath, and the mother goes there and rescues her, and that there's no audio, like no speaking lines at all. It's just pure entertainment and pure feeling, and like they tell a story visually. It's amazing. So that's what we're getting with Secret Level. So let's cover the first 4 episodes. What is the first episode? It's Dungeons and Dragons, correct?
It's one Dungeons and Dragons called The Queen's Cradle.
The Queen's
On the
Cradle.
hunt for a dragon cult, a band of adventurers rescues a boy who's haunted by a sinister force.
This is basically like a exorcism movie for the video game. So this kid, he's got these crazy tattoos all over his face, and some of them are look like they're carved into him.
Right.
And I love how even in such a short time, because this is only like a 10-15 minute short.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes.
It's very, very short. The little elf lady, the little witch elf lady, the short one.
She's a gnome.
Gnome. Okay, thank you. The little gnome. I'm not very familiar with World of Warcraft or
so
Dungeons and Dragons.
To be fair, I'm going to probably get some stuff wrong with this episode because my Dungeons and Dragons, I played the crap out of Dungeons and Dragons, but it was
long time
original Dungeons and Dragons with the old ass books, the ones that Gary Gygax wrote, you know, back in the day. I quit playing at the end of during second edition. So that if people are into D&D, that'll tell you how long it's been since I've actually played this game. So, because I didn't recognize a lot of stuff in this. I'm like, what is, you know, I did, but then I didn't, you know.
I'm coming in completely green.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But in the short bit that we got, the gnome lady was like super like, get this freaking guy out of here. Like she did not like him. She was not vibing.
I believe she's like a wizard or some kind of fire wizard or something.
Yeah. So, and she was not digging on having this kid. Like she's like, get this kid out of here. He's a freaking, he's possessed. He's a cultist. Yada, yada, yada. Let's kill him. Let's get him out of here. But I love how just that little moment and then it gets paid off later where the kid saves her life. And then she's all of a sudden like, oh, you're not a piece of shit. Okay, maybe I'll help you. It was cool to see that. And a little bit of back and forth that we had between the main bad bitch lady with the armor. I can't remember who she was.
She was a paladin.
Paladin and the guy who's like the sacrificial guy. They had like a back and forth where she's like, listen, I know you feel like you're alone, but you're not.
Right.
I'm here to help you. They had really nice character moments in there. And then just stunning visuals.
Oh, the visuals were just off the rails.
I love that.
We're gonna say that about every episode of this show.
Yeah. I love that.
Visuals were off the fucking hook.
That scene where it's like they're crossing the bridge, but the bridge is like a statue and he's holding a sword.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Dude, right? It was so right out of Lord of the Rings. It was so badass. Yeah. And I love that part. And then they have this little battle there. They're fighting off the dragon warriors, but then they go inside. And this is where the bulk of like the heavy story part comes in. So they get inside, they see this giant, like Smaug looking golden dragon.
I think he's I think he's just a gold. I honestly I'm not sure. Big gold dragon.
Yeah. But he reminds me of like Sean Connery from Braveheart. You know what I mean? Not Braveheart. What's that movie called? Dragonheart.
Yeah.
Like he's like the Sean Connery dragon from that movie. Comes out, tells the kid, look, whatever you're dealing with on the inside of you, I'll take it. I can control it. And the kid's like, no, I don't want it to hurt you. I don't want it to hurt you. And the dragon's all, oh, it's fine, son. I'll handle it for you. Friggin' sucks exercises the demon out of the kid and takes it on himself. And that was a crazy cool visual as well. Just like seeing this red, like hatred be drawn out of this kid and sucked into the dragon.
Some exorcist shit.
Yeah, some exorcist shit right there, right? And then it just all shit break loose. The dragon's like, oh, this is a powerful demon. I can't believe. Oh, man, how did you handle this?
I can't contain it.
I can't contain it. And then there's like 4-headed freaking dragon.
It's 5 heads.
5-headed.
Tiamat.
Is it a Tiamat? Okay.
And Tiamat is like the
god of the dragons or something.
Evil god of the dragons. Like was a lot of D&D lore with Tiamat. In fact, she's on the cover of, I think, at least 1 or 2 of their source books.
Okay.
And, but like I said, I can't get too deep into it because I just don't know anymore. It's been too long. So.
But they end on a very much of a cliffhanger. And this is what I love about these shows is like some of them are complete little mini arcs. And it's very satisfying. Like we watched one that we'll cover here in a couple minutes that is like a complete arc. It's from start to finish.
Do you remember the Saturday morning D&D cartoon?
No, the one with in the 80s?
Yeah.
I remember that they had a cameo in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Tiamat was like the big bad in there. She was Tiamat controlled Cringer, I believe who was the guy that was after that group the whole time. And just another little reference, but
cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Long established character in the D&D.
Tiamat emerges from the golden dragon and the show ends with them like going toe to toe and they're like, we'll handle it together. I'm like, you're so fucked.
You're so dead. Yeah, they're all dead.
There ain't no way you're walking away from this.
They're dead.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff though. That first episode was super cool. It left me wanting more though. It did feel.
Are we gonna grade these?
Yeah, why not?
You want to grade them?
Yeah. 1 out of 10 or
1 out of 10,
1 out of 5, whatever you want.
I mean, I always do half points when I go to 5, so we might as well do 10s.
All right, let's do 10s.
So
what do you got for this first one?
First episode, I was visually impressed. I did get a sense of some wokeism stuff in this thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Oh yeah. You know, the big buff chick who's the paladin and the warrior, you know, and the little weak sniveling little guy.
Well,
he was the possessed one.
I don't know, man.
They had the female. Every person in this group was, except for the dwarf, who was,
well, that other dude, the orc or whatever.
The dwarf looked like he was a DEI hire as well. Okay, if you look at him, you got the female little dwarf gnome chick. You got the female half orc chick, and I think she was like a.
That was the orc was a chick too.
I think she was like some kind of like a shaman shapeshifter.
Yeah, she was a shaman. Yeah, I have no idea. She was like a windwalker or something.
Yeah, all strong chicks, except for the dude.
Who, if you could argue, he was the strongest one out of the group.
And I think he was like I think the dwarf was like a freaking monk or something.
Yeah, he was some kind of a monk because he had no weapons.
Which was weird to me.
He didn't have any weapons
because it was just they had the weird group classes compared to the game I used to play.
Sure,
it's like I would have looked at this group and go, wow. You guys are crazy. Go re-roll your characters. What's going on here?
Why is your dwarf a mage?
yeah, exactly.
Your dwarf should have a battle axe.
Right.
What are you doing?
Hammer, something. Yeah. But no, I did sense some of that. And Wizards of the Coast, who own Dungeons and Dragons, there's no woker company. They're the worst. They are the fucking worst.
Okay.
And but it didn't distract me from this thing at all. I was just really blown away. And but I don't want to give it too high of a score because we got 16 more episodes that I have to compare.
That's a lot. Holy shit.
So I'm gonna put it like a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it like a 7 out of 10.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I would agree.
My
baseline for the first one.
I'm gonna take it down one notch. I'm gonna give it a 6 because it left me hanging.
Yeah.
And I understand.
I think that's going to happen a lot.
I know. I understand. Personally, I don't like that. If you're going to do a short film, I want it to be a complete little mini arc. I'd rather have like a nice little rounded end. They left the best part, quote unquote, the fight with the big bad dragon. They left it to your imagination, which I get it. Fine, whatever. But I was a little like, oh man, damn it. Like an extra 2 minutes would have been great.
Right.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. I don't know if I necessarily completely agree, but I can see what you're saying with the like it was an almost exclusively female group of freaking adventurers. I got you. All right. The next one. What's the next one called?
Episode 2, Sifu. It Takes a Life.
Okay.
A young martial artist bent on revenge learns the true cost of his obsession.
Okay. I love a good revenge tale.
Uh-huh.
The cinematics reminded me very much of like a mix between Blue Eyed Samurai, if you've seen that. It's a really good show on Netflix, and Arcane. Like that's the two shows that kind of like artistically, that's what I kind of see.
Yeah. I agree.
Visually, the fight scenes were freaking awesome. Really cool fight scenes. And the one part, and I have never played the game that this is based off of either.
I haven't either.
So I'm not really familiar with the lore at all, but I loved this little, like, just with a couple of key visuals, you understood the mechanics. You were like, oh, every time he dies, it's like his little chain, he gets a little older. His chain gets shorter. His life gets shorter.
Yeah, and that's what Sticks in our group chat last night when we were watching this. He was explaining that to me.
Okay. But I just, because I'm like right away, you're watching it, you're like, oh, that's it. And you're like, you immediately get it. And that was really cool. You see a lot of Hollywood movies that can't freaking explain something in 2 hours.
I know, right? I picked that up on that.
In the first 3 minutes.
In the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Every time he dies, he gets older.
Right.
And every time he loses a link on his chain.
And you lose that, and they explain that visually.
Yes. And this is the cost of your vengeance.
It's like, it makes me happy that there is a way for people out there to tell good stories.
Yes. It's still very much a thing.
But man, it takes something like this for people to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And another thing too, foreshadowing. So like when he goes and gets the dumplings and he does that thing with his chopsticks, and it's just a quick thing, and they don't make a point of it. It's just there if you notice it. And then later on, the very end of the episode,
you go, oh,
he's the old freaking master, right? He's got a beard and long hair and all that stuff. And the lady's like, oh, I think I saw your grandson recently. And they do the little chopsticks things, and she goes, oh, it's you. And it was such a freaking just a chef's kiss moment. Good stuff. But the fight scenes were glorious. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of really cool slow motion scenes. I love how like the hallway scene is now a thing that everybody tries to do. It's like Neo from the Matrix had his hallway scene. We got the hallway scene from that Daredevil show, a couple on Netflix. Everybody wants to do the hallway scene. Right. And I think this one did it really well. I love how it was a transparent floor, like a glass bridge.
The glass hallway.
So they did like the weird camera loops and stuff like that. It was really cool. Really interesting.
Yeah. The animation style that they have these days is just, it's like, who needs actors? Who needs live action? I don't. It's like, give me more of this.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of animated stuff lately, and this is just,
they have such a better style to them.
So good.
Yeah. Like just the camera angles and the creativity behind how you shoot a scene, I feel like is so much more interesting with these modern animated shows, like Arcane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you just don't see these kind of things in live action. Maybe because if it was in live action, it would look kind of goofy, but
kind of hokey.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this like reminds me of like a John Wick style.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely John Wick. But what I kind of want to check this game out now, because when we were playing this game, or when we were watching this episode on the watch party, the guys were like, "Oh shit, it's just like in the game." I'm like, "Oh wow, this must be a really cool game to play." So
gotta give it a shot.
Yeah. But good stuff, man.
I feel like we should have more to talk about with this one. But it's a very straightforward episode.
Look, he goes in there, the guys walk by him, he figures out that these are the people that killed his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes after him.
And that's it. And then he fights 12 dudes or something? He
fights like 7-8 dudes, and he gets killed 7-8 times. And I guess we're spoiling the shit out of this.
Yeah, we're spoiling everything.
But and then at the end, he goes back to the dumpling hut in
as the Grandmaster,
as the old guy with the ponytail and everything, and he I don't know, hooks up with the old lady and her dumplings.
Is that weird? All right.
Yeah,
on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a solid 8.
Yeah, I'm there.
I had a blast.
I had a great time.
Really good.
8.
It had a satisfying conclusion. That's a big thing for me.
Yeah, me too. This was the whole encapsulated story. Yeah,
there's a whole little story in like 10 minutes.
And it was great.
Yeah. If you cut the intro and the credits off, it's like a freaking 8-minute movie.
This was a modern version of an old school 7-minute long Bugs Bunny cartoon.
You ain't wrong.
Nah, what's up, Doc?
All right, cool. What's the third episode going in? What's that one about?
Third episode. Oh boy, this one. Episode 3, New World, the once and future king. This is the Arnold one.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
A conquering king washes ashore on a mysterious island with no army and no clue. He may need an eternity to find his purpose. I'm the Arnold, you worship me or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to be your king.
I freaking love this episode. It was so stupid. Yeah. I love how he was just like, he's a conquering king. The first scene is him in front of his armada charging into battle with his giant golden armor. Is very, very like Conan-esque vibe to it. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in there as the voice actor. And he's going and charging into this island. He's going to go conquer. He's like, they will serve me. I am their king now. And he goes in and completely gets his ass handed to him by this like little beach bum lady, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, how is this possible? No. and he wakes up and he's like, I am still alive. The gods have blessed me. I am immortal. But the whole idea is like everybody on this island is immortal. It's like the island of second chances or whatever they want to call it. And he goes up and he finds the king of the island, of this immortal island. And this dude is just like, what does this freaking idiot want? And he's like, I challenge you to a feat of strength. And he kicks his ass, right? Not Arnold doesn't. The king kicks Arnold's ass. And then he's like, I challenge you to. He wakes up dead on the beach again, gets up, goes back up. I challenge you to a feat of strategy. Gets his ass handed to him again. It's rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And he finally he has his like one-armed like companion friend who's like loyal to him.
Dude. Yeah.
Eventually, throughout the process, he starts treating this guy like, well, he's always treated him like shit, but it becomes more and more apparent that this guy is just being like, he's like a kicked dog. And he leaves, and he's like, I have lost my servant. Oh no,
what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? And then he goes up to this mountain of the devil, and he's basically like selling his soul to become more powerful. Yeah, and it's all very like he keeps going back. It's almost like
he dies, he brings back another piece of his badass.
It's very like Doctor Strange versus Dormammu or something like that. You know, where they just keep rinsing, repeating the same battle over and over again. But he gets more powerful as it goes. Then he walks back in to the king's castle, and he's fully like demon armored up.
Yeah,
And it's
good.
It looks great.
It's great.
Looks great. And with Arnold behind the voice, it's very like, oh, evil Conan, freaking dope. Gets his ass handed to him again.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Instantly. So the whole point is just basically I feel like the point of this story was basically just humbling this egotistical maniac, just bringing him down to the point where he realizes that he's not all that. And in fact, halfway through the show, his little companion is like, listen, man, you're actually really bad at a lot of things.
Yeah, you're not good at this.
You're not good at any of this shit. We kind of let you win because you were like the king's son.
You're the king.
You were the, it was a Nepo baby kind of a thing, right? It's like, it just breaks him. But the end of it was a nice moral at the end of the story. He uses his time and skill. And instead
he has all the time in the world and he wants to learn how to make
he's like, help me make a forge. I want to make something for my friend. And he makes him a prosthetic arm.
Yeah.
Top of the line prosthesis, you know what I mean? From Norseman. And it was a nice story. It was a nice little arc. I thought it was hilariously goofy, but I feel like you probably didn't like it very much.
I didn't like it as much as this was, of the 4 that we watched, this was my least favorite one. I didn't hate it, but the shtick, it just kind of got a little too repetitive for me, I think, after a while. They could have cut 5 minutes off this thing. You know, if they're doing short.
How they could have cut 5 minutes out of an 8-minute video.
I know. I mean, if it wasn't for Arnold being Arnold, you know, I probably.
He was really hamming it up.
He was hamming it up. Yeah. I live again. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do Arnold under pressure. But yeah, it was fun, and like I said, there's not been one of these episodes I haven't enjoyed.
Right.
So I'm not going to give any of these really bad scores, but I think this one's probably sitting at like a 6 for me.
Okay.
You know.
Yep.
So
I'm also going to give it a 6, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It was definitely not as exciting as some of the other ones. The fight scenes were very underwhelming because it's a joke, right? He's supposed to go in there. He thinks he's hot shit. He thinks he's going to come in and have an epic battle, and he ends up just getting freaking trounced or whatever you want to say. He just gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
So there's no real epic fight scene or anything like that. It's all just kind of a joke.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a 6.
This is a moral tale.
It's more of a morality thing. I really enjoyed it. I liked how it was a fully encapsulated story. Again, solid 6 out of 10 on that one. Had a lot of fun. I loved Arnold. Arnold hamming it up was peak.
Super fun.
Yeah. And he didn't sound super old either.
No, he sounded like
sometimes you get these voice like this, and the guy is modeled after Arnold. If you look at it, like it's obviously young Arnold with a beard.
Era Arnold.
Yeah. And I like how the voice behind the body kind of matched. He didn't sound super, super old.
Right.
So that was nice. Like sometimes you get these voice actors who are like legacy actors.
Christopher Walken or somebody, you can go, oh God, he sounds like he's 90.
There's certain ones you're like, dude, you sound old. It's like when Harrison Ford tried to do young Indiana Jones again. It's just like, bro, that don't work. Don't do that shit.
Don't do that. But you know the Arnold, he always sounds like the Arnold.
Yeah, he just sounds like Arnold. Good stuff. All right, the last one out of the 4 that we watched. Let's talk about that one.
The last one is from Episode 4, Unreal Tournament. This show is called Zan. After revolting against their corporate overlords, a group of mining robots is condemned to fight for survival in a deadly arena combat.
Freaking
badass.
Amazing. Yeah. So freaking good. It had a great moral tale. It was very like pro AI or something, basically. But you have these robots who are mining robots, and that's what they're designed to do. And they've been abused by the people who are like the actual human miners.
Just like we would do.
Kick them around. Freaking piece of
pick up the rock. Pick up the rock. Let's go.
But this robot, I love how much emotion they got out of basically a metal head with a little eyeball in the middle.
Yeah. A red light or a green light.
Yeah, the emotion.
Like, oh shit, it's green.
But there was like even when it was green, there was different emotions within like how it would blink or how it would shift back and forth. Like they were able to show you the inner monologue of this robot just by a blinking light. Freaking
once
incredible.
Again, peak storytelling.
Show don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, loved it. It made me want to root for the robots.
Yep.
I mean, how easy 100%. Is it for us? It's always the underdog.
Humans suck.
Humans are shit.
We're terrible people. We're not good.
But
we're a virus.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, that Matrix line is real. I can't stand the smell of this place. This is like, yeah, you're not wrong.
Wipe you off. Yeah.
But yeah, so the story goes, these are mining robots who are just they're there to break rocks, and that's all it is. And again, there's foreshadowing. So the little tool that they use to mine, it gets shouted out at the end of the story as like a nice little nod to where the origins of this robot come from. It gets abused. It downloads some kind of a thing. It starts becoming like self-aware, for lack of a better term.
Sentient.
So it becomes sentient, and then it rebels against its human captors. And then it gets captured by like the overlords or whatever, and
the big corporation overlord people.
Yeah. And then they put the robots that have rebelled into basically the Unreal Tournament.
Right.
It's all just a, gladiator-esque arena battle. And this chick who's in charge of like the showmanship of it all, she's like, we got to freaking show these people what rebellion means and make sure that these freaking robots lose. So every step of the way, they're stacking the cards against the robots.
They put the robots out there first. The robots don't know what's going on.
Right.
And they get their asses kicked. Right.
And
she's like, hey, we need to make this entertaining. Let's make this more of a show. And
so they give them a little bit more of a chance.
Escalate.
But every time they go into a new role or a new battle, the robot is like learning strategy and stuff like that. And I got the impression that was he communicating with the other robots, or was he controlling them?
I don't know.
I want to say he was controlling them.
I've only watched this episode once. I kind of probably should go back and watch it again.
My impression of it was that he was the one who was controlling all the robots, and he would like give them orders. But I picked up on that. He was the only one that was sentient. Okay. All the other ones were just kind of autonomous, like they're just doing what they're told. I got that impression.
Was there any scenes in there where their little lights turned colors?
Oh yeah, they all turn colors.
Well, then if they turn color, that means they're aware of what.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
I took that.
Green is I'm
sentient.
Sentient. Yeah. Red means I'm just a drone.
Right.
Kind of thing. So
yeah, most of the ones that he was fighting with, his little robot team, they all turned green at some point.
There you go.
They
even explained it. He's the
alpha.
He's the captain. And they do what he said.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I am the captain now. Great freaking episode. The battle scenes, the gunfights, fantastic. There was there was a moment where like eventually the robots had beaten all of like the low level battle guys. And the lady and the chick at the top was like, "You motherfucker!" And she was talking to the main guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're gonna go fight these guys."
It was so tropey. Those characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like I keep on seeing like Cole Hagen and the dude from Total Recall. The character or the two bad guys from Tron.
Yeah. Yeah, very much
that kind of stuff.
Very classic 80s villain.
Yeah. It's like you got your corporate overlord, you got her goon, the guy that go get this job done and don't fuck it up.
Yeah, you do it yourself. Don't send your underlings. It's right. It was very classic 80s.
Okay.
All right, fine. So he goes down there with his like elite team, right? Yeah. And they're fighting at the final battle, and the robots are, again, the odds are stacked against them, which is another great way of showing, getting you to root for the robots. It's like, okay, now he has a damaged leg. They're ill-equipped. In the last battle, and what I was talking about earlier is they gave them, instead of guns, they gave them the mining weapons, or the little mining like jackhammers or whatever they were. Yeah. And the robot like stopped and looked at it, and then looked up at her, and she's like, not gonna make it too easy for you. And he's like, shit. And he just grabs it and goes and does whatever he can with it. But they use it really efficiently. Like they get them into a crowded area where there's not a lot of movement. The underling robots sacrifice themselves for the greater good. I might have missed something, but there's a moment here where there's like a tech advisor guy who's sitting up at the top.
Oh, the little hacker dude?
Yeah, he unplugs something from one of the older units, and it allows the main alpha robot to like hack into the system. And that's when the tides turn. And he's able to start fighting back a little bit more. And then he goes up against the main bad guy. And at this point, and this is that real moment, like the Goosebumps moment, where like, okay, the robot has officially hacked the whole thing. He's in charge now.
Yep.
And he like does this slow head movement and looks up at the guy who's been like dogging them the whole time. And it's like oh shit. And he just freaking destroys him, throws him against the wall, freaking breaks his neck, and he's dead. Lots of cool moments like that. There was a moment here where the robot like analyzes the angle of bounce with this little gun. And he's like, and it like bounces off and hits the guy in the side of the head. Freaking awesome. The tactics that they use in this were so fun to watch. And then the last moment, the big hurrah, the robot controls the stage at this point because again, he's hacked into the whole mainframe. he gets himself up on this pedestal and he forces the woman to kneel. And then it just says rebel in the background. He's just there like, he's
like, oh yeah,
such a
power.
Freaking robot. AI. Woo.
It was like we're all like the chick in the Solo movie. We're all what's the
robot liberation.
Robot liberation. Free the robots. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I dig it though, man.
Go download yourself into the Falcon, okay?
Yeah. Well, we don't speak of that. Your Falcon has the most peculiar dialect. Yeah, whatever. This one is by far the favorite out of the 4 that we watched today.
100%. Yeah.
Great cinematics, great action scenes. The action is super easy to follow. Everything that they're doing is very like show, don't tell. Very little speaking lines. Cool stuff. I'll give it this one. It's going to be a solid. This is 8 out of 10.
Oh, I'm going 9.
8 or 9, yeah.
I'm giving this one.
You want to do 9? I'll do 9.
I'm going 9.
I'll give it a 9. All right, 9 out of 10.
So
for you as well?
Yeah, 9 out of 10, easy. Yeah. The storytelling is just on point.
Yep.
That's what I love about all of these episodes so far is these aren't long, but they're all very, for the most part, self-contained.
Yep.
And they just tell a really cool, quick little story. And you find yourself kind of invested in rooting for these characters.
Oh yeah.
Even in such a short time that they're on the screen. So
it gives me hope. I don't know what Hollywood's problem is. Hollywood has a hard time giving you an hour and a half solid story. These guys are squeezing that much content into an 8-minute story. Yeah. And there's very little dialogue. There's what I think it is like there's no fluff. There's nothing here.
No time for fluff.
No padding. It's just very like boom, 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 boom. We have to make sure that we get this point across, this point across, this point across, done, walk away and have a good time. I love love death and robot people.
Yeah.
What's up?
I want to know who play these characters because the henchman dude looks very familiar to me. But
I'm not sure.
He's modeled on somebody that I can't think
X4N. That's the name of the robot. X4N.
I'm waiting. There's going to be, posters of this robot popping up on the sides of buildings here pretty soon. Rebel.
Yeah. Elon Musk's new robot design is going to be designed after this one. For sure. Absolutely. Elon watches this show, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a nerd.
For sure. All right, guys. That's the first 4 episodes of this secret level show. We will be covering probably the next. Do you want to do 2 or 4? Since they're so short.
We can do the other 4 next week.
We'll do the other 4. And then we'll continue on throughout the holiday weekend.
Do 4 episodes a week.
4 episodes at a time. And looking forward to it. Definitely check it out. Check out this. Check out Arcane. Check out the previous Love, Death, and Robots shows on Netflix. They're all really solid, fun watches.
I'm having a great time with Arcane.
Are you on season 1 still?
I'm
right?
season 2. I'm about halfway through.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a big Jinx stan.
Right? Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I don't like Vi that much, but Jinx is where it's at.
I'm a Jinx dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Totally. We should talk about that at some point.
Yeah,
too.
we will.
Do season 1, season 2.
I like that Jesus character too.
The guy, the Lazarus dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
We'll talk about that soon because I'm really curious because a lot of people are pretty down on season 2 versus season 1, and I kind of agree. I think season 1 was better.
I have not finished season 2 yet. I'll be done with it probably in a couple.
It gets freaking weird.
Yeah,
it gets real weird.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like astral projection, god type complex shit.
Okay,
it gets real strange. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. Really do appreciate it. Comment your favorite episode of the first 4. Is it Unreal Tournament or is it the Dungeons and Dragons? Talk to us. Or is it the Arnold one? I don't even know what that one's called. Arnold.
The Arnold one.
I am the king now. Yeah. All right, folks. Stay salty. We'll see you next time.